Hey everybody. I don't have really much to say. I just felt like coming on. I just been feeling some kind of way. It's like so many changes are happening, but it's a beautiful thing. It's the beautiful thing to finally just be living fully in my body, to totally know which direction I truly want to be in. And it's like when you're truly in your body, it's such a beautiful place to be because you're authentic about your feelings, no matter how they feel. You're able to truly express yourself with no judgment on yourself. And I think like so many of us are not being able to communicate correctly because we're so trapped in our emotions that we can't flow. So it's really interesting to feel free enough to be able to be totally in your body. And yeah, it's very interesting. So I thought I would come on. I thought I didn't, invite anyone. I just thought I would just, whoever shows up, it was divine. And I was talking about earlier, is just how beautiful it is to be totally embodying your feelings and not being ashamed of how you feel and how that feeling feels, to be able to have power over how you feel with no judgment upon yourself, or not, you know you don't even care if somebody else cares how you feeling. It's just, that you're embodying your true authentic self. And when you do that, there's so much freedom in it because you don't care. And it's so crazy because the not caring is actually thoughtfulness to you, because you're literally embodying how you feel without an audience. You don't have to have an audience to really know how you feel. You don't need to explain, because it's okay. It's okay to have those feelings. It's okay to have this love hate relationship with yourself. It's okay. Sometimes you love yourself, sometimes you hate yourself. Like, it's okay to have that love, hate, all emotions. Don't let anybody shame you on it. It is so freeing to be fully in your body, how you feel, and to be able to express that, however you may choose to express that. I express on social media. Some people express when they're painting. Some people express when they're dancing. We express ourselves the way we desire. This is I'm telling y'all, once you understand and totally embodying who you are with no apologies, not caring if anybody cares if you are embodying your body, it's that you care about where you're at. And when you're totally embodied in that, it is so freaking freeing because what can anybody do to you? What can anybody do to you when you're living free in your body with your emotions? You don't care. But what lies in you is the greatest compassion for humanity because you don't care. Because when you don't care what other people think, you begin to start living, really living in your body. That's when you're really living in your body because then you do things that feed your soul, not somebody else's fault soul. Not because somebody said it or somebody told you, well, I think you should do that, or you saw it on Instagram or you saw it on something. No, this is really you. This is how you feel. This is, you know, like when I began to do that, I wrote a book, you guys. I wrote a book. I'm working on my second series because you know what? I'm embodying my feelings, and the architecture of our souls is to be creators in your own individual definition of how you want to create. So many times we look at our creation as something small, as something that's not valuable. Just because you exist, you're valuable. We live in a world that is constantly telling you that you have to measure up to their level or their expectations. And it's totally not you. It's not you. So now you're living in the shadows of somebody that wants you to be like them. Like, be you. Be embody yourself. It's like so freeing when you can say, this is what I want to do, and I don't care what another person thinks, and it may not be a good idea, but it's an idea that I want to do. Then do it. Do it because you want to do it. So what? You fell. At least you tried. At least you tried, rather than not try and don't know if you can. You may try it and be very successful. You don't know. But a lot of not see, and that's what's so crazy when you don't embody your feelings. You're allowing the system to determine your well-being. That's artificial intelligence. Why you want somebody else to tell you how to be? Why you want somebody else to tell you how to feel? work at your pace. If you just barely even start, it's like the universe, like source, just catapults you to your greater self, and you're sitting up here like taking baby steps because you're unsure. You don't have to be unsure. It's just like it's so physically elementary. It's like when you see a toddler. How does a toddler start? Toddler don't come out of the mom's womb and start crawling. No, it starts picking up his head and using his hands. And then all of a sudden realizes that he has the strength to get out of that chair. And then when he gets out of that chair, he realizes that he can if he rocks a certain way, he can get momentum and move. And that's just what we do. So no matter if you've been in this journey for a minute or you just came on today and realized what is she talking about? Those of you that have been in this journey for a while, it doesn't matter when you start. It's how you start. The momentum. That's what it's all about. And it's so crazy because when I started feeling, oh yeah, when I started feeling saying, oh yeah, that really hurt me. Like, why would that person do that to me and make me feel that way? Then I had to go back and say, well, why didn't I, when I felt that this person, like I had a red flag, I kind of like wished that flag away and still went into a situation. Now I have to take responsibility. So it was when I started taking responsibility because I was totally feeling in my body. Not trying to sit up here and try to negotiate with my brain and say, no, this really didn't happen. Yes, it did happen. Yes, I compromised. Yes, I had red flags. And even the red flags, I literally talked myself in to danger. That's crazy. That's crazy. But when you're not living in your body and you're living for the people around you and people on the media and people not totally not, and when you're not healed, you can't feel your body because when you're not healed, you put this barrier over all the gunk that you refuse to heal. So when you go into your vessel, you have so many things protecting you from being hurt. You can't even feel. You can't even feel yourself. And you can't even like have empathy for yourself or anybody else. Because if you don't have empathy for yourself and compassion, how will you have compassion and empathy for anybody else? If you don't love yourself, you're not going to love others. So it's just it's really like, hi Tony, how are you? Oh yeah, I cut everybody off. Even like I don't know, somebody told me on the channel because I had a stalker, and somebody told me on the channel that if I told, if the stalker showed up again, tell the stalker that my boyfriend was gonna do something to him, which I don't, you know. And I did that, and I finally got rid of him a year later. It took a year, you know. But yeah, I had to let go. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. And it's sad because it's sad because we're living in a culture that when you don't embody your feelings and you don't really talk to yourself and say, hey, like I'm not feeling this, I'm not feeling this, like your consciousness is telling you this ain't right, you're not feeling it, but you go anyway. And I'm gonna be honest, with me. um when I was having a hard time, when I had the red flags, it was because I felt sorry for them. And I didn't even realize that's what I was doing. Like, I would stay in relationships because I felt sorry for the guy. I can't believe I did that. I felt sorry for them because they were such a mess. So, what I tried to do is be a healer. That's crazy to me now. Like, if you would have told me that like 4 or 5 years ago, I would have stood my ground and I would have said no. Like, I knew what I was. Oh no, I did not know. I did not know what I was doing. Yeah. And then when I started doing this work, I began to realize. I started realizing that because I did not love my father and I did not care for men either. And I began to punish them by mentally and emotionally seducing them. And so, not even realizing that I was bringing attachments onto my life. So, I literally had to go to spiritual boot camp. And that's where I was for 3 years because it was my way of surviving by protecting myself. You see how warped that is? But at the time, it sounded very logical to me, very logical. And it was very illogical. But see, that's what happens when you're in pain and you're not living in your body and you're in your head and you're trying to hide your pain. You begin to create this archetype that you live by that is running amok in your life, and you truly make that archetype that you created in your head your best friend. And so you're just running amok and you don't even realize that you're tearing down your own self-esteem, you're taking your power, you're not in your body, you're not feeling your true emotions, you don't even know how to receive emotions because you can't feel your own. How can you receive when you can't feel your own? So then it becomes this perpetual cycle, and then you start realizing, you know, um, man, I have been really in pain. And then when you start realizing that, why was I in pain? Because I shut down my emotions. And when I started feeling, it started bringing those heavy things, those disappointments, those things, because I truly felt. I truly felt with all my heart, that a man couldn't do nothing for me. I truly believed that in my heart. I did not have faith. I did not have like like anything. Like, I couldn't even understand why women cried so much over a man. You know, and I'm trying to help these people, and I started realizing that I had to heal and start feeling my body and feeling my emotions, and realize how everything that happened to me as a child was destructive to my adult life, even though I was the nicest person you could ever meet. So we all come damaged in so many different forms, you know. It's not always ugly. Sometimes it's very attractive. Pain can dress itself is very alluring and attractive, and we don't even realize it. That's why when you start feeling your body and feeling your emotions and being authentic to yourself, then you're able to really listen to what your body is telling you about the relationships, not only with yourself, but your relationship with others. So if you do feel this apprehension, you're able to identify it and pull back rather than using it as an excuse to kill yourself. Literally, that's what you do. And so, yeah, it was pretty interesting as I started understanding, understanding that living fully in my body was the most powerful thing that I could ever do for myself. And during those times, I was looking at how I looked at men, how I looked at them, and I felt so sorry for them. And I it wasn't a healthy sorry. Like it wasn't. It was a Virgo type energy. Very nitpicky, very like it was crazy. And I know like a lot of guys have to probably address that because they go out with females and they don't understand like why, and if she got issues, she will nitpick like every hair on your head. She will be smiling, seductive, you thinking she having a great time, and she is not, and she won't say anything. So when a woman is in her pain, it's sabotage. It sabotages her. She has to sabotage. I think that's why Scorpios have such a hard time, because they love to sabotage themselves. It's almost like they hurt themselves to grow, right? It's so crazy. It's so crazy. But we do it unconsciously because a lot of times a Scorpio is definitely in pain, not identifying that they're in pain. And so as we start moving through this energy, that's why I've been saying to y'all, it's totally being your body. Love your emotions, love how you feel in them. Get to know them again. Get to know who they are, because it's through them you understand yourself more. You're able to scan your energetic field and actually feel how you truly really feeling in this construct, because we're hiding from our emotions so we can appear that we're okay, but when we're truly dying inside because we choose not to do the work. That's why I always ask you, how are you feeling? I really want you to tap into your feelings. And especially if you're a man, you guys are holding so much. You guys are walking around with this disdain to your mothers, and you're pretending, and it's showing out in your relationships that you don't like your mother. It don't matter if she's passed on. It doesn't matter if she's currently here. You have to deal with that, or it will affect how you relate to the feminine side of you and the female that is granted to you for your lessons. Because every relationship is a lesson. We are evolving in connection. We're evolving in how we touch people and how we relate to people. And are we relatable to those that desire space with us? You know? So, thank you for coming. Thank you for feeling. Thank you for identifying who you are in this reality. You are some amazing people. Don't let the outside world tell you otherwise, because you're definitely here for a divine reason, a divine season. And there's so much power that lies within you that all you have to do is be open to it. Let the universe blow your mind. So, have a good night. Thank you for showing up. My merch is in my bio. And thank you so much for showing up, showing out for Scorpio HER. Have a nice night.